there, welcome back to my channel. Today, I did a thing. Okay, I didn't do the thing today. I did the thing like a month ago, but the thing has arrived. That thing is the Hela palette between Angelica Nyqvist, my favorite YouTuber, and Oden. I love Oden. They're one of my favorite brands. I think their eyeshadow formula is just beautiful. So I got the Hela palette. I also got this little color switch, and I'll just talk about those briefly. We'll do the color switch first to get it out of the way. It's a cute little tin. It's upside down, yes. It's a cute little tin. It's got a beautiful profile here of a woman and then her hair and some floral decorations. And then on the inside, it's got two colored sponges with a little heart in the center. And it is the same size as a regular color switch tin, which I got off of Amazon. So they're the same size, which means that it is no problem at all to get replacement sponges when the sponge dies. So this ugly old tin I'm going to put in my travel cosmetic bag, and this pretty tin I will have in my regular day-to-day use. Now, let's talk about the palette. Here's the outer packaging of the Hela palette. It's almost grayscale, but it's got like a green tinge to it. And in standard Oden fashion, the packaging is gorgeous. Now, I will say off the bat, I personally am not a fan of the skeletal decoration of anything. I see it a lot in the more, I think Mexican culture does a lot with skeletons. I'm not sure. I could be wrong about that. I believe it's a cultural thing, and I understand the thought behind this packaging, because Hela is the goddess of death, as far as I'm understanding things correctly, and so she's always portrayed like half death, half life and vibrance, and that's where you get this packaging. Part of her is dead and decaying, and then the other part is vibrant and youthful. And I understand that. I understand that Uroboros is all about Norse mythology. I understand how this packaging and theme fits perfectly into the brand's aesthetic. I totally get that. And as far as that goes, I think it's beautifully done. This is the least exciting of the two packages, because there's a little sneak peek here. I'm sure you've all seen it before. This is the grayscale green version, and on this version you see a lot more of the holographic and foiled elements because they stand out more on the more dim or dull packaging. But then we can open it up and see this part of the packaging, which is glorious. I adore these colors. They're so vibrant and bright and pigmented. They're just so beautiful. This is so pretty. So if we're thinking about the aesthetic of the brand and the concept of the Hela, the goddess, the Norse mythology, all of that, I think it's very, very well done. I will link below Angi's video where she talks about the packaging. She also talks about the shade names and the color selection and the process and everything. But specifically, she'll tell you about the Norse mythology because she's Swedish and I'm not. And she'll talk about these other characters. There's the wolf here. I think he holds the world in his mouth. I could be wrong about that. And then there's the snake here who I think his tail wraps around the world and he bites himself in the tail. Something like that. I'm a little bit embarrassed to not remember all of those details, but I can link that video down below for you because she does a great job telling everything about the product and why it is the way it is. Quite apart from my own personal feelings about like the skeletal design elements, I think that is beautifully done. I think it's just so intricate and detailed, and Uroboros again has knocked it out of the park with their packaging. The same detail and foil elements that are on the grayscale version we have here, but now we have all these vibrant colors. We've got flowers, and then if you look closely, you can see like tattoo markings on her torso, and oh, it's just really beautiful. And then of course the inside of the palette is not news to anyone at this point. It's glorious. I love the color story. It is so springy, it's so vibrant and interesting. It's well curated from depths and color stories and formula options. It's a really beautiful palette. So I wasn't planning on getting it, but I really wanted to support Angelica, and when our budget reflected that I had a little bit to spare, I was like, oh, husband. And he's like, sure. So I was super excited. I wasn't planning on getting it, but now I have it. I'm very grateful. And this is the eye look I came up with. I'll stop talking. If you want to see how I did this, then just stick around. If you're new to my channel, hello, welcome. My name is Rachel, and I'm a homeschooling stay-at-home mom who loves to play with colorful eyeshadow. If you want to see lots more colorful content on your timeline, you might want to consider liking and subscribing because I have been uploading about every other day. Okay, I'm so excited to dip into this palette. I'm gonna take a medium dense blending brush. This is a blending eye brush from e.l.f. And I want this look to be a little bit more yellowy green, I think, because I'm wearing this sort of drab gray shirt and I wanted to brighten up my eyes. So first I'm gonna take the color Moss, and I'm just gonna place that in my crease in the outer corner and blend it through the crease. Oh, it's a lovely color. It actually has more of a green tint than it looks or maybe than I was expecting. So much depends on your skin's undertones. You might get a totally different look because your undertones might be yellow rather than, you know, maybe you watched a video of somebody using the same palette and they had blue undertones. So yours are gonna just be different. This is a really pretty color. Like a light lichen green. Is lichen the right word? It's sort of like that yellowy green mossy stuff. Not moss, but I think lichen's the right word. I'm gonna look it up, and when I edit this video, I'll let you know if that's what I was thinking of. Maybe I'll find a picture of it, but that's what I'm thinking this color is. It's beautiful. And in typical Uden's eye fashion, performs beautifully. You know, I really wasn't sure if I was gonna get this palette. I went back and forth on it, and I knew that if I didn't take the opportunity to get it, then if I ever were to get it, it would be probably at a higher price on the secondhand market. But I wanted to buy it when it was released because I wanted to support Angi, and if you get stuff on the secondhand market, you're obviously not supporting the original creator. I mean, unless they sell it themselves. I'm sure Angelica's not selling her own palettes. Like, her own collab palettes. Anyway, I went back and forth and finally I decided to get it, and I'm glad I did because it's really pretty. Now I want to add a little bit of yellow, so I'm taking a fluffier blending brush and taking the shade Underworld, which is more of a pea green sort of yellow, and I'm going to put this on the very edge of that moss, yeah, the edge of the moss color that I laid down, and just blend it up towards the brows a little bit. Today is, there's an Easter egg hunt in our neighborhood, and my older daughter is really excited. My little one couldn't care less, she doesn't know. My older daughter's really excited, and they actually set up the eggs, like they started laying them out in the yards and stuff. Must have been sometime this morning, because when I look outside my window I see Easter eggs laying on the ground under the trees, and I'm like, oh, this is fun. And then someone is hosting like cookies and other snacks, so we could go there and get cookies and snacks and then grab eggs on the way home, or maybe we could grab eggs on the way there so that we can stake our claim. I'm sure my daughter will want to stake her claim. And what was interesting to me is that they started the Easter egg hunt, or they are starting it at noon, which is about 3 hours before many of the elementary and middle school kids get home from school. Like, we're homeschooled, so it doesn't matter for us, but most people around here aren't. And so it's a little curious to me that they started it so early in the day. And I thought, well, maybe the thought was that when kids came home, they could grab eggs on their way to their houses. But then they wouldn't have officially started like the start time at noon, right? And then I thought perhaps they've designed it for littler kids who might be home, like preschoolers. But again, a lot of parents in the area work and their kids aren't home with them during the days. So it's perfect for us, but I don't know who else they're catering to. All right, I brought that moss color onto my lid a little bit more, so I had more of a green foundation for other things. Now I want to deepen the outer corner, and I can't decide if I want to deepen it with the brown, which is called Decay, or the dark green, which is called Uroboros. I'm not really sure. I think I'll go with green because my shirt is gray, and a dark cool tone green would probably work better than a brown to match my shirt. There's also a dark, oh, you know what? Hold that thought. There's a dark color in this palette called Soot, and it's not a black. I think it's like a super deep burgundy, plummy kind of color. That would also look nice. Maybe I'll do that. I think I'll do that one just because my instinct would be to grab the dark green because I'm working with greens, but I don't want it to be monochromatic. So I'm going to take this small blending brush and grab the color Soot. And I'm going to go in very lightly at first because I don't know how dark it's going to end up being, and I will place this on my outer corner. So Uden's Eye currently has, as I'm filming this, currently has some mystery boxes available on their website, and they have 2 different size mystery boxes. The lower price box I think is 4 items with a total value of like a certain range, like I don't know, $40 to $90, something like that. But you're paying less than the highest value would be. And then the bigger box is the same story, only you pay more but you get more items for a higher total value. And they're actually an awesome idea because if you do those mystery boxes, not only do you get these items, which are all Uden's Eye, so they're all gonna be great, but you also get free shipping. You never know what the item's going to be. Angelica just posted a video where she showed the items that she got when Uden's Eye sent her a mystery box. And she ended up getting the Elva 2 eyeshadow palette and the highlighter palette, and then 2 lip things. And it's like, you know, really nice products. And, you know, the palettes I think are $34. So if you pay 45 bucks or whatever it is for the mystery box, you get 2 separate items, which are each worth $35. then you get 2 other items. It's a really good deal for free shipping too, because it's coming from Sweden. Free shipping's awesome. I mean, the shipping's not very expensive. I think shipping is like $8, but still. And then separately, there is a Hela mystery box, which involves this palette, because this palette, being that it's a collaboration, is not included in the regular mystery boxes, which I think for them is to just get people excited and also pass on some older stock so that they have room in their warehouse for new stock and new inventory. But anyway, there are separate Hela mystery boxes, which would include this palette and then I think 2 other items. And again, free shipping, but all of those are for the price of just the palette. Now, as you saw from the intro of this video, I got this palette and also this color switch. And so they released these mystery boxes and the Hela mystery box right after I had placed my order for full price. And I was like, aww, because I could have gotten the same 2 items plus something else for the price of just the palette and get free shipping. So I was a little bit bummed about that. My timing was off by about a week. However, I'm not complaining because I got the palette that I wanted, and I feel like if I had waited, there's a good chance it just would have been sold out, so I never would have gotten it. So I won't complain about that. And I had to make the purchase when we had the funds in our budget, so I'm glad I didn't wait, but I was a little bit bummed that I didn't get the better deal. I'm gonna take Uroboros on the larger blending brush that I used for the yellowy color. Uroboros is the dark green matte. I'm going into it very lightly, and I'm just gonna tap it on top of this outer corner where I have the green and the purple meeting up. So I want to bring a tiny bit more green tone to it. That purple is going to be a really beautiful companion with some of the pinks in this palette. Really nice. Now, in case you have never used Uden's Eye before, my experience is that the color likes to be placed and then blended, as opposed to dragged all around and blended more liberally, the way that you might with a slightly lower cost brand such as ColourPop. Now, I'm not dissing ColourPop. I really like ColourPop and their quality. They have some great eyeshadow, but they have a different formula. And so ColourPop tends to be a bit more powdery, where you can drag the color around and blend it in more windshield wiper sorts of motions. Whereas Uden's Eye, along with my Melt Amor Mariposas palette, they seem to like to just be put in place and then lightly blended from there. It's just a different technique. Now I want to play with shimmer. I'm going to take the color Fluorescence, and I will grab it on a flat shader brush. I've sprayed it with setting spray, and now I'm going to put it on my lid from the inner corner out to... Oh, look at that. I'm not surprised. This is exactly what I was expecting it to be. It's gorgeous. I really like Uden's Eye. I'm putting that in the inner corner and dragging it out to meet the mattes. Bringing it up towards my crease. I'm not too concerned about bringing it all the way in to the inner corner because I actually have a plan to put a matte there, but look at how beautiful this is. Then with the brush that I used first to place my original color down, just this eye blending brush from e.l.f., I'm not going to take any additional product, but I'm just going to tap over where the shimmer meets the matte to help transition those together a little bit more. And then on my inner corner, I want to do a matte yellow highlight. I love a matte inner corner highlight. I love it. It's so pretty. I'm taking a smaller pencil or blending brush, and I'm getting the shade Rebirth, which is like a butter yellow matte. And I'm going to place this right on the inner corner here. And I'll carry it down to my lower lash line. How nice is that? I love a matte inner corner. It's gorgeous. Now I'll take a smudger brush and get the shade Moss and just put that on the rest of my lower lash line from where I laid Rebirth down at the inner corner, and then drag it out to meet the greens at the outer corner. Alright, I think that's fine. I'm going to take the color Extra Frosting from ColourPop's Creme Gel Liners and put that on my waterline, and then I'll finish everything up and be back to show you the end result. Here's how it turned out. I put on some black eyeliner. I'm trying a new thing with my eyeliner where, because I have these slightly hooded eyes, I'm trying that kind of Nike hockey stick version where you just look straight at the camera, or at the mirror. You look straight at the mirror and draw a line, and it goes over the fold, so then when you close your eye, I don't know if you can see, when you close your eye, it has this little cutout and then it keeps going to the lash line. I don't love the way that it looks when the eye is closed, but my eyes are usually open, and I do like the way it looks when my eyes are open, because instead of having that dip down and then the scoop up, I just have a nice, much straighter line. So I'm kind of experimenting with that style to see if it's something that I can live with and I like. I have a little bit of lip oil on from ColourPop in the shade Smirk, and this is the finished look. I think it's really pretty. I'm really excited about this palette. I think it's beautiful. I think it's very well done. I like how balanced it is between the greens, like on one side, and then the darker, heavier colors on the bottom side. It's very visually balanced, and the colors, of course, are beautiful. The selection. I know all of the work that Angi put in as far as choosing colors that worked well together, and a good range of mattes in light, medium, and dark tones, and then shimmers that work with so many. It's a very well done palette. So congratulations to Angelica and Uden's Eye for a wonderful collaboration. I'm sure that people are going to be raving about it for quite a while. And I hope you like this video. Thank you very much for hanging out with me and for watching. Let me know down in the comments if you've got this palette, if you got one of the Uden's Eye mystery boxes, and maybe what you get inside of it. You know, that'd be fun to hear about. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And until I see you again, I hope you have a great day. Bye! And so she's always like a lichen, I think. Lichen.